Good evening. Today we are going to discuss about Kesavananda Bharati versus State of Kerala case study. So Kesavananda Bharati versus State of Kerala, which was a landmark case. The case redefined constitutional limits in India. It introduced the basic structure doctrine. It remains pivotal for democracy and judicial review in India. Historical context. So way back in 1970s in India, the political climate was such that Indira Gandhi government faced controversy and unrest, constitutional amendments, several aimed to reduce judiciary power amid political tension. Kerala ran land reforms, religious institution challenged the land residency law aggressively. The petitioner was Kesavananda Bharati. So he was a religious leader. He was the head of the Edanir Mutt Hindu monastery in Kerala. And legal challenges, he opposed Kerala's land reform laws restricting religious property. So the rights claimed asserted land law violated fundamental constitution. So key legal issues, amending power, the scope of parliament authority under Article 368 question, rights conflict, clash between fundamental rights and directive principles, constitutional amendments, validity of 24th, 25th and 29th amendment contested. Arguments presented. The petitioners stand Parliament can't alter the constitution basic structure. Government's position, Parliament has unlimited power to amend the constitution. Focus issue, right to property under Article 19(1)(f). The verdict, a basic structural doctrine, supremacy of constitution, federalism, secularism, rule of the law, separation of power and judicial review. Impact and significance, parliament limit, amending power is now constitutionally restricted. Judicial strengthening, judiciary's role in protecting right enhanced. Legacy cases, basic structure doctrine cited widely in constitutional law. Legacy and contemporary relevance, ongoing influence, the doctrine continues shaping constitutional law today. Core values protected, safeguards fundamental values of Indian constitution. Debate continues. Scholars discuss scope and limits of the basic structure doctrine. So this is the basic information regarding the Kesavananda versus the state of Kerala. So here students are going to talk about this topic. Thank you.
Hi, myself Shweta from BTech Artificial Intelligence and Data Science. So the case study is about Kesavananda Bharati versus State of Kerala. Kesavananda Bharati, a seer of a Hindu monastery in Kerala, challenged the Kerala's government attempt to impose the restrictions on the management of its property under the land reform laws. This case escalated into a much larger constitution debate about the power of parliaments to amend the constitution. So the common question is, can Parliament amend any part of the Constitution, including the fundamental rights? The Supreme Court delivered a historical verdict on 24 April 1930. The basic structure of doctrine, which still guides the constitutional amendments today. The case behind the Kesavananda Bharati, the head of Hindu monastery in Kerala, challenged the Kerala's government land reform laws that sought to take over the much property. While the issue started as the property rights matter, it quickly grew into a broader constitutional debate about the limits of Parliament's power to amend the Constitution. The 13-judge bench of the Supreme Court, the largest ever in Indian judicial history, delivered a 7-6 majority judgment stating that Parliament has the power to amend any part of the Constitution, but it cannot alter or destroy its basic structure. This doctrine was not expressly mentioned in the Constitution, but was read into by the judges to protect its core values, such as democracy, secularism, freedom, the rule of law, and the fundamental rights. The case also overruled parts of earlier judgments like Judgments like Golaknath, 1967, which said Parliament could not amend fundamental rights. By balancing the need for constitutional flexibility with the protection of its essential principles, the Kesavananda Bharati judgment preserved the Constitution's identity and Lord formed a fundamental principles that continues to protect the democracy in India. The judgment is also seen as a turning point where the Supreme Court arrested its role as the guardian of the constitution, preventing any misuse of power by the parliament, especially relevant in the political content of the 1970s. In this case, Kesavananda Bharati, the head of the religious institution, challenged the Kerala government's attempt to take over the institution's property under the land reform laws. The case ultimately raised a major constitutional question. Can Parliament amend any part of the constitution, including the fundamental rights? The Supreme Court, in a landmark 7 to 6 majority verdict, ruled that while Parliament has wide powers to amend the constitution, it cannot alter or destroy its basic structure. This doctrine of the basic structure means that certain core principles of the constitution, such as the supremacy of the constitution, the rule of law, democracy, secularism, and the fundamental rights, must remain untouched. The fundamental acted as a the Supreme Court delivered a historic verdict on 24 April 1973 with a 7 to 6 majority starting. Parliament can amend any part of the constitution, but it cannot alter or destroy the basic structure of the constitution. This becomes known as the basic structure of a doctrine. Basic features identified. While not executively listed, the following were suggested as part of the basic structure: supremacy of the constitution, republican and democratic from the government. So the common question is, can Parliament amend any part of the Constitution, including the fundamental rights? The Supreme Court delivered the historic verdict on 24 April 1973 with a 7 to 6 majority starting. Parliament can amend any part of the Constitution, but it cannot alter or destroy the basic structure of the Constitution, its property and the land reform laws. This case escalated into the much longer constitution debate about the power of Parliament to amend the Constitution. Parliament can amend secularism, separation of powers, federal character of the constitution, unity and integrity of the nation, individual freedoms, impact of the constitution. This case limited the amending powers of parliament and protected the core principles of the constitution. It ensured that even the highest legislative body could not tamper with the fundamental values of the democracy and individual rights.